Mr. Bernstein, welcome to the Film Society of Lincoln Center.
Good to be here.
All the President's Men, it's a legendary American film. Do you continue to respond to it and watch it, or do you?
Only at events like this, but we actually had an event with Redford last year where we got a chance to watch it again, and it's amazing the work he did on. He had the real vision for this film, and to make it H-E-W, to make it consistent with the book and with what really happened. He was committed to what really good reporting is, the best obtainable version of the truth, and that's what the movie did. And I think that's one of the reasons that it was so successful, because it didn't need to exaggerate, and Bob understood that all the way through the process, as did Alan Pakula, the brilliant director who Bob picked.
Absolutely, and I think like Robert Redford, you'd have a long and multifaceted career. Is Redford's career one that you admire particularly?
Absolutely, because look, first of all, he has done as much for really great film in this country or in the world as almost anyone in the last 50 years. Look at the Institute, look at the films, look at the body of work, and it's a varied body of work. So sure, you look to somebody like that in your own vision of saying, look, maybe get a little gutsy and do some things outside of what you normally do. And Redford's great like that, and he's a great man.
Absolutely, and one of the more politically committed filmmakers in Hollywood.
There's a conscience to everything he does. None of us is right all the time, but we try to stay with a certain vision of what we believe in, and Bob has done that to a remarkable degree, and with a great humanity and a great concern for truth.
Laura Poitras is here tonight. Any comments on her? Laura Poitras is here tonight.
Citizen 4 is a great movie, and I'd love to talk to her. I think that for someone who was involved in the process itself to produce a movie of that kind of grit and texture and tension is a great feat.
Well, you'll certainly have a chance to talk to her tonight. Carl Bernstein, welcome to the Film Society. Laura Poitras, welcome to the Film Society of Lincoln Center, and congratulations on the Oscar.
Thanks, it's great to be back here. The last time I was here was when we premiered Citizen 4, so it's wonderful to be back.
Absolutely. Citizen 4 was also shown at Sundance. What sort of role did Robert Redford have in getting the word out about that film?
It actually wasn't at Sundance. You guys premiered it, but Sundance did support it. I had a funding grant from Sundance, but he's actually played an enormous role in my career as a filmmaker. I've been to the Sundance labs many times with films, and what he's created for independent filmmakers, I think, is it's revolutionized the art, and so I'm really happy to be here and that he's being celebrated.
Well, you're a filmmaker, but you're also a journalist and an artist and somebody who has a very multifaceted career. Is Redford's career one that you admire in that respect?
I mean, I wouldn't put it on par with what he's done. I mean, he's really, I think between his acting and his directing and what he's built with the Institute, I mean, it's legendary, and we've all benefited from it. So it's an honor to be here and to acknowledge him and express gratitude.
I understand that your work is going to be shown at the Whitney in 2016. Can you talk about that just a little bit?
Yeah, I can't say too much, but it's going to be new work, installation-based, at the new building downtown, so that's really nice. So I'll be in New York a bunch this year.
Absolutely, and just finally, you talked a little bit about Citizen 4 being here at the Film Society of New York. We say that film lives here. Any comment on that experience from last year?
I mean, it was extraordinary. I mean, we had just finished editing. We didn't know what to expect, and the reception to the film just was so meaningful. And to come home, I mean, it was a film I left the country to make, and to come home and premiered in New York at the Film Society, it was, it was really magical.
Laura Poitras, thank you so much and welcome.
Thank you.
All right, J.C. Chandor, welcome to the Film Society of Lincoln Center.
Thank you.
You've directed so many films already that have great casts and great performances, but Robert Redford's, I think, really stands out even so. Can you talk about what makes him unique as an actor?
Yeah, obviously my experience with him was really intense. It was he and I for a couple months, kind of staring at each other every day, and I'll never go through anything like that again. I would imagine, but it was unbelievable. I relied on the audience's relationship with him to carry that film. Obviously, he was the only person in it, and you know, everything that we're celebrating here tonight is what I think, in a weird way, provided the subtext to that movie.
Absolutely, and it's such a physical performance too, which is interesting for you because, of course, your films have had such great dialogue in the past.
Yeah, I think it's something when I used to work in commercials, I did a lot of more action-oriented commercial work, and so I think that was something I was trying to explore with the film with Bob. And he amazingly was at this time in his life where he was still in amazing physical shape, could do most of those stunts himself. In fact, did 90% of the stunts in the movie himself, and but yet was a 75-year-old man who had the experience that he did with his being a sort of movie star as well, which is a helpful side note. So to have him be able to actually go through most of that stuff was amazing.
Your work has drawn comparisons before with a lot of great filmmakers. Sidney Lumet is a name that keeps on coming up. Do you court those kinds of comparisons, or do you tend to disregard them?
I try to disregard them. They're a little overwhelming, and I'm writing my own material, so I'm in that phase right now where it can, you know, I made 3 films that have been well received, and it starts to be like, you want to make sure what you're writing is still just kind of coming in the same way, and that you're not overthinking it in a way, which I think I am in the middle of doing right now. So I try not to ever get too wrapped up in any of that stuff. You know, I think Sidney Lumet this past fall was probably rolling in his grave because my film was being referenced to his, but it was you know, it's a great honor, obviously. Thanks, man.
Oh, thank you so much. Oh, I was just going to ask you, you've worked with the Film Society in the past. Any words quickly about what that experience was like and about our sort of motto that film lives here?
Yeah, I mean, I was just talking with Raj, you know, over from MoMA, and, you know, new directors, new films is basically what sort of, after Sundance, kind of realigned my first movie and kind of launched it and forced the distributor to kind of look at it in a different way. And you know, and then the last time I was just up in the restaurant we were just in was here in this exact same place, you know, with All Is Lost. And so you know, this has been an amazingly supportive place for my career. I'm a New York-based filmmaker, so you know, I hope they'll keep having me back.
I'm sure we will. Thank you so much, and welcome. Zach Posen, welcome to the Film Society.
Thank you.
Robert Redford, he's been a screen icon and a fashion icon for so long. Any comments on his career and his influence on your work?
Well, yeah, he's, you know, for me, I'm working at Brooks Brothers right now. I'm the creative director there. So he's one of those Americans in film that sort of iconically gets integrated into what America is. From his roles, from his personal style and elegance. I mean, he's the man.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Zach. Have a good night. Robert Redford, welcome to the Film Society of Lincoln Center, and congratulations.
Thank you.
You know, you've worked with the Film Society in the past. Did it come as a complete surprise when you received this award?
It did.
Fair enough. Fair enough. You've
expected.
That's.
It was here for Meryl Streep.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Who you've worked with in the past, obviously. Are there particular roles that you remember with particular fondness as playing?
I'll give you a political answer. All of them. Not all of them. Most of them.
Fair enough. And you've had such a diverse legacy as a filmmaker because you're an actor, but also a director and a producer and a writer. Is there one part of your career that you're particularly proud of, or is it all of them again?
No, I'm very proud of the films I made because of their diversity, but I think of all the things I've done, the thing that feels like the biggest reward is starting the Sundance Institute, where you can create opportunities for other filmmakers and other theater playwrights to have a chance to develop.
Just one more question, if that's okay. You mentioned the Sundance Institute. Do you feel a really strong connection with the Film Society here in terms of influencing young filmmakers?
Very much. So many of the filmmakers come from here in Brooklyn and so forth. So yeah, I feel a great connection.
Robert Redford, thank you so much. It's an honor. Elizabeth Moss, welcome to the Film Society of Lincoln Center.
Thank you.
And congratulations, by the way, on a very good episode of Mad Men last night.
Very much.
Longtime fan of the show. It has to be bittersweet to be almost at the end of that run.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we finished last July, So we already sort of said our goodbyes, so it's just kind of nice to get everyone else to see it and, you know, enjoy it. And I'm sort of being reminded of what we did, you know.
But you have a lot to look forward to, of course, because you're working with tonight's honoree.
Yeah, I had the privilege of working with him last fall in a film called Truth with Kate Blanchett, which was really a very special experience.
What kind of a performer is Robert?
Professional. Professional and kind, you know, I mean, he's a pro and he's a legend, but he's also, I often find the most legendary people are the nicest. And he definitely proves that.
Is his career one that you really admire?
Oh gosh, yeah. I mean, anyone would. I mean, it's a career that's unparalleled and will be one of a kind forever.
You certainly had a relationship with the Film Society in the past. Can you comment on what the Film Society does when, you know, it looks back at Mad Men or when it honors Robert Redford like we're doing here tonight?
It's wonderful. I mean, I happen to live in the neighborhood, so for me it's very cool to be able to come down here for something like this or for the New York Film Festival or, you know, be a part of this kind of thing. And this event, I haven't been yet, but I hear it's wonderful, so I'm very much looking forward to it.
Elizabeth Moss, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good to meet you. John Turturro.
Hi. Yes, I am John Turturro.
Yes. Welcome to the Film Society.
I'm a member.
Good to hear. You've worked with so many great directors in the past, but is there a way in which Redford, who directed you in Quiz Show, was particularly impressive or unique?
Absolutely. I had a very special relationship with him. I think kind of shows in the movie. And I was involved in the movie for a long time with him before, and he was, you know, I would say he's one of the best directors I've ever worked with. So that's why I'm here. You know, I had a wonderful relationship with him, and you know, I've always hoped to work with him again as an actor or as a director, and I hope that day will come to pass. But I had a really, you know, special relationship. I never imagined it would be that much fun and intimate. Well, we really got along really well, and it was very freeing. He was very helpful, and I got to see how he cast, and you know, I got to do a lot of things.
And I think just like Redford, you have such a diverse career. You've been an actor, obviously, but a director as well. You've been involved in so many different kinds of films. Is his career one that you really admire?
Absolutely, I admire him as a creative person and as a man. And he certainly treated me really gracefully and delicately, you know. And it was one of those great experiences that you have. So I'm very happy to be here.
What really impresses me about your career too isn't just the number of movies that you've appeared in, but the different kinds of films that you've appeared in. You've done comedy, you've done drama. How do you choose all these different projects?
I come from the theater, and I try to do different things and try to find challenges when I can, and to make a living. And it's nice that you see people who go before you do certain kinds of things, and that's always encouraging. And you know, when you meet these people, sometimes you're surprised, sometimes you're disappointed. In the case of Bob Redford, I was really delighted at the surprise that was there as him as a person, because you know, he started out in the theater, started out as a painter, so he just, you know, it was one of those just relationships that clicked.
You've been working with the Film Society of Lincoln Center in the past. Can you talk about what keeps you coming back?
Well, they show lots of films that I love. I do a lot of great retrospectives. I'm a person who grew up in revival houses all around the city. There's not that many of them left. And Lincoln Center supports, you know, foreign films, independent films, films that are harder to see. You see people's body of work. So it has a special niche, you know, uptown, and then there's like the Film Forum downtown, and those are the real kind of mainstays, you know, and I'm happy they exist. I am.
Last question, will there ever be a sequel to Barton Fink?
That's up to Joel and Ethan. They said they were interested in doing that, so I guess they're waiting for me to get a little older.
You're on board, though?
Absolutely. Anything they want to do, I'm on board.
Thank you so much. Have a good evening.